you both came out in defense of Julian Assange and an authentically free press. And it gets back to the accountability question, Congresswoman, that you were talking about. If they get to do what they did to Julian Assange, it pretty much undermines any hope of the press ever calling out the government when it crosses these civil liberties bounds.
Very clearly. And in the prosecution of Julian Assange through the trial, the extradition trial that he's been going through, the United States government made it very clear that they would continue to go after any media source that exposes classified information in direct violation of our First Amendment, based in our Constitution that we have here. And you know, this should obviously be a cause of concern to the largest media entities that we know of, people like the Washington Post, the New York Times, people, frankly, who publish classified information from anonymous sources almost on a daily basis, that, again, our government could go after them simply for publishing that information. But also in this new media world that we live in, we have individual freelance journalists who have their own Twitter accounts or their own YouTube shows. This is not only a threat to the New York Times of the world, this is a threat to every single American and the freedoms that every one of us has to be able to share information, to be able to speak freely, and to be able to hold our own government accountable. That's why the situation that Assange is facing, he's not an American citizen, but this prosecution is a direct threat and warning to every single American that if you do not toe the line to whomever is in power in government, that they'll come after us.
It's about the free exchange of information and ideas. And I'm always reluctant to sign on to bills that give the official journalists protection without giving all American journalists, because all Americans protection as the journalists have, because as Tulsi pointed out, there's not a fine, bright line between a reporter who's, just because what you report eventually gets printed on a piece of paper, does that make you a legitimate journalist? Or, I mean, why isn't somebody who has a blog that has, 1 million followers or 10,000 followers, why aren't they also given the same protections to information if it comes into their possession?
Exactly.
I'm sort of becoming fundamentally skeptical that the next big reveal will come from the Washington Post or the New York Times or any of these sort of mega media outlets, because they probably have conflicting interests that I don't even understand. But the nature of media today is that actual citizens can do real reporting, and unless they're suppressed by our corporate and government overlords, that's where freedom comes from. This is essential stuff here.